Let's dive right into the cool, calm, and collected world of a lizard that's not afraid to get its scales wet. Most reptiles avoid water, but not this daredevil. Imagine a scuba diver, a magician, and a survivalist all rolled up into one. That's the water Anole for you. What secrets does it hold beneath the rippling surface? Stick around to find out here in Life, Death, and Taxonomy.
Taxonomy, it's your 30 minutes of interesting animal information. I'm Joe.
And I'm Carlos.
Thank you to Cassie for the creation of our theme song. To hear more of Cassie's music, please search Cassie Michelle on YouTube or Spotify.
And thank you to Johanna for the creation of this week's artwork. To check that out, you can visit us at our home on the web at ldtaxonomy.com. And a very special thank you to our patrons. Thank you so much for your support. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks for helping us keep the lights on. If you'd like to donate, just visit patreon.com/ldtaxonomy or click on donate on our website.
And today we're talking about little swimmers and not the aquatic diaper brand.
That was not the way I thought you were going to go with that, but that makes sense. Sure.
Or little Schwimmers.
David Schwimmers?
David Schwimmer's children, I guess. Does he have kids?
No, he plays for he plays for his own team.
Does he?
Anywho.
He has a child. He's
Does
married to Zoe Buckman.
With Rachel?
No. Someone named Zoe Buckman. An English artist, photographer, and photographer. She's a photograph.
You had a baby with a photograph. What are we talking about?
We're talking about the water Anole.
Is it a Anole or a Anole?
Anole.
There you go. Anole.
We're talking, it's a lizard. But I don't know when the best time to do this is, but I realized that we have not a metric ton. We have a few comments on Spotify where I did not know you could leave comments. So there have been people talking on Spotify without us knowing. A year ago, some of our favorites too. Gray, who I assume is Gray Hughes, left some comments.
Really?
Yeah.
We've not been checking our Spotify.
Yeah, now I am. Pipe Morgan is leaving comments. Somebody called the Plague Doctor says, I just found this and I already love it. Also, the Vampire Bat is
We have a Plague Doctor and a Vampire Bat and a Pipe Morgan?
No, also the Plague Doctor is saying... Oh, okay. Also, the Vampire Bat is Desmodus rotundus. Can't wait to binge this podcast for the next few days. Some of these are like references to the episode that they're commenting on, and I just don't remember anything about what they're talking about.
Yeah,
but
it was
other
like
stuff
5
is pretty
years
universal.
ago. Actually, I think Vampire Bat was probably 6 or 7 years ago at this point.
Well, but a lot of these people are discovering it only like a year ago and commenting. Yeah. Somebody named Z and then 3 lightning bolts said, great episode to the Adelie Penguin, and said you guys should cover the clownfish one day. And then in the ribbon eel episode says you guys should do the lamprey or the clownfish, please. And then again in the Black Widow spider episode says, please do a clownfish, please.
This person.
and then in the Honduran white bat episode says, okay, I get it. Maybe not the clownfish. But what about the gold-mouthed sea squirt? It's literally called a sea squirt. And then in the bearded vulture episode says, gold-mouthed sea squirt, gold-mouthed sea squirt, gold-mouthed sea squirt. We should do one or both of these.
Oh, it's like there was one YouTube channel where someone in their Discord posted a picture of their cat for every day until they did a certain game. So they covered, like, they reviewed a certain video game, and it was like 550 days. Like, okay, day 520 of posting a picture of my cat until they play Dead Space.
Somebody named Vladimir says, why do you got to have a trivia question anytime you speak anything about the fox? Isn't the whole thing? I don't know. The whole thing is a trivia. It's all trivia.
We have trivia question for every animal. I guess. This is full of trivia. This is a trivia podcast.
Yeah, a trivia question.
You get to go to trivia night about animals and just clean house. Or we would, if we remembered half the stuff that we talked about.
Oh, on the Christmas Island red crab episode.
I don't think we talked about a fox on that one.
No, but Pipe Morgan says, over the past couple of years, engineers for roadways and even crab-friendly tires have been developed to prevent millions of crabs being accidentally crushed by vehicles when crossing the road. Remember the Christmas Island crabs?
I do remember that one.
Yeah. Go watch that episode. Go listen to that episode. Anyway,
and then go to Christmas Island.
I'll be looking at these comments more often.
Do they mention the crabs in the song Christmas Island?
I don't think
Probably not.
No. Seems like an oversight. Also on Spotify for free, if you join for free, you can listen to all our episodes there now. I found a way to link to Patreon, rather. To Patreon. If you're a member on Patreon, you can listen to all the episodes right there on Patreon.
Oh, nice. This is such a decentralized medium.
I know. It would be great to have one singular place,
but I like it, and it's frustrating on one end, but I also like the fact that we're not just like slaves to YouTube or something like that.
True. We're diversified. But yeah, we're talking about the water Anole.
Yeah. Also called the
water Anole.
There's a knoll at the bottom of the sea.
Mm-hmm.
Jacques Cousteau.
Nice.
BubbleCharmersOnly.com. Nelly Anole. That is a deep cut Daniel Tiger reference.
Okay.
And then Anole Diver. That one. Look, we had 5 of them there.
What are those?
5 nicknames.
What's that last one?
The song Holy Diver.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know who sings it, but I know the song. Hold on.
Holy Diver.
Holy Diver. It's a rock song by Dio. In 1983.
I know nothing of that.
That was one of those things where someone burned me a CD of a bunch of like rock songs from like the 80s and early 90s, and that was one of the tracks on there. So I just knew it was called Holy Diver, but I didn't know anything. I don't know like who did it or anything like that, and just listened to it. And there was the only song by Dio on there. There were several Metallica songs, so I learned like, these are Metallica, but I didn't. Yeah. So this was a treat. 5 nicknames for this one. It came so easy.
Interessante. Would you like to know what science calls this?
Yes.
You're about to say no. You're about to force.
I thought about it.
But here it is. The kingdom, love, and are in. The kingdom, Animalia. The phylum, Chordata. The class, Reptilia. The order Squamata, we've been here before. The suborder Iguania, we've been there before too. The family is Dactyloideae.
Yep.
And then the species Anolis, the genus is Anolis, and the species, the binomial name, Anolis aquaticus.
Anolis aquaticus.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since we're in the business of naming things, it's time for the listener's favorite part of the show, nitty-gritty nomenclature.
Mm-hmm.
The part of the show where I ask you, Joe, a question, and that is, what is the English translation for the binomial nomenclature? And I give you a list of 4 options. The first one, A. So what does Anolis aquaticus mean? Does it mean A, water-loving lizard?
You water-loving lizard.
Yeah, it's a slur for sure. B, water pest. C, aquatic little devil. Or D, aquatic statue. I don't think I was going to pull one over on you with the aquatic element of this, so.
What were the first 2?
Water-loving lizard and water pest. And then aquatic little devil and aquatic statue. A, B, C, D.
I'm gonna go with little pest. Final answer.
Water pest?
Yeah.
That is incorrect. The answer is aquatic little devil. Anolis is an tribal African word meaning little devil.
Little devil snack cake.
Yeah, it's delicious. But yeah, that was a very hard one to find. It's like this obscure journal was mentioned it, and then there was the other option was that Anole was just what the Caribs, which are the native people of the Caribbean, called this lizard.
I did not know that was their name. I did not know anything about that. And I could throw a rock at the Caribbean from here.
Yeah, because
probably considered rude, but I wouldn't
because
know.
you're
anything about the culture.
Because you're world-class pitcher.
Yeah. People there's a lot of world-class pitchers that come out of the Caribbean. Do you want to know what it looks like?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Their body is slender. They look like a lizard. Like if you live in any like subtropical environment with lizards in it, you're gonna see anoles.
Unless they've been overtaken by curly-tailed lizards, which eat all of the anoles.
Mm-hmm. And can outcompete. Their body is slender with a long tail, which acts as a counterbalance when they're climbing or swimming, unless they're really scared, in which case they don't need that anymore. They get rid of it. They exhibit a range of colors from greens to browns, often distinctive in pattern. They can change color like other anoles, but it's not as their color changing isn't as striking or intense as a chameleon or something like that. It's like they'll change from lighter to darker with yellow or white hues or brown hues or gray hues.
Good one.
Their skin, it has a texture that aids in water repellency. They have a relatively large head compared to their body size, with large prominent eyes that give them good vision. They have like pointy, almost triangular, not quite like torpedo-shaped heads that are long in comparison to their body.
Like Hey Arnold.
Yes, but long, a forward-facing longness rather than a wideness. Speaking of wideness, let's talk about their length. Let's talk about measure up. Welcome to the Blood Measure Up segment, the official part of the show that's presented by you when you send an audio of yourself saying, singing, or chanting the words measure up into ldtaxonomy@gmail.com. We do have a new measure up intro this week.
Yes.
Because we had one last week and there were 2 of them. Now there are 2 of them.
This is getting out of hand.
Is it racist to do that? Because I'm making fun of an alien that was definitely doing a particular accent.
What particular accent? Name it. Name the accent.
The alien accent.
Yeah, it's just doing it's an
if
alien
I name it'll
that
be
has
even more
human-like
dubious.
mouth parts and can speak English, but not as its first language. Give it an accent. Why would it have perfect English? Get out of here with this.
It should talk like a British gentleman. Without further ado, the listener's favorite part of the show.
Hey, measure up.
There you go. That's Pipe Morgan.
Nice. I like this, back to basics. Just give us a good solid measure up.
Mm-hmm. That was like a voice actor's measure up. Just like a solid, it sounds like a bubbly character, a positive character.
Yeah. It's what that character says, like, hey, measure up, and then like grapple hooks away.
Yeah.
In a video game. Like that's exactly like a see you later.
Like a Sonic, gotta go fast. Measure up. Let's get and then it just speeds off.
Also, the more I think about it, the more I think that the Viceroy is supposed to be Japanese.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, but is it racist when the it's basically an allegory for what Japan did to China during World War II?
Is it
the blockade and then the invasion and then trying to get a committee sent over from the League of Nations / Senate? It's pretty much shot like beat for beat. The Manchurian invasion, the Manchurian incident.
I did not know that.
And the Trade Federation all has Japanese accents. Now there are 2 of them.
Yeah. So if it's racist, it's on their part. It's not
racist because Japan shouldn't have done the Manchurian situation issue.
It's just history.
It's their fault for being the bad guys in history at one point.
Like no one ever else is. Everyone else is good.
Everyone else is good, except for the 2 guys, the 2 baddies and the 3 baddies in World War II, and then
except for the two alien men in episode 1. Let's talk about their length. They're about 5 to 6 inches, or 13 to 15 centimeters, which includes the tail. Johanna, when we were on our way to your house this weekend, Johanna did these like I was telling her what to do, and she was writing it while I was driving. So she decided to include they're less than the size of a pencil. I'm just seeing.
Okay.
With a link to prove it. But they're around 30 anoles go into the Toyota RAV4. The most recent one, I think, is a 2025.
Okay.
B, 400 rounded up. It looks like she's rounded up. Around 400 go into a stretch limo.
I'm sensing a theme.
Who knows? And then, in keeping with the theme, C, about 2 million go into the length of Lake Okeechobee.
Stretch limo, final answer. Stretch Armstrong.
Final answer. The correct answer is the RAV4. The Toyota
really?
RAV4.
A RAV4 is 15 feet long?
I would be fine with that.
Would you be okay with it?
Yeah.
Is that acceptable? Are you the FDOT?
Length of the I'm not gonna look it up. It's about 15 feet long, I'm sure. I'm looking it up. Oh, it's 180 inches. Does that help you?
That's 15 feet.
There you go.
Exactly.
Let's talk about their weight. They generally weigh 0.1 to 0.2 ounces, which might as well be 3 to 6 grams.
Might as well.
Their 290 anoles go to a gallon of propane.
I don't know what a gallon of propane feels like. It's either in the little green canisters, which is not a gallon, or in those giant ones for like a grill, which is also not a gallon.
1040 go into a gallon of mercury. Or C, 504 go into a gallon of gasoline. You can't drink any of these things.
I'd like to see a gallon of mercury. That would probably be pretty cool.
There's apparently like a huge pool of mercury that they use as a mirror in an observatory somewhere. I forget where.
Huh. I wonder why. Pure light reflection or something?
It has to do with the shape of the lens. Oh, it's spun. The lens needs to be like this particular concave shape for... This mirror has to be this particular concave shape. And when they spin it, it's the liquid, when you spin it, it goes into that shape perfectly. So that's all I know for that.
That's pretty cool. That one, mercury. We've been talking about it enough. A gallon of mercury.
Final answer?
Yeah.
The correct answer is 1,040 go into a gallon of mercury.
Yes. That is heavy.
So if you hold a bag of 1,000 lizards,
1,400 lizards,
you know exactly what it feels like to hold a bag of mercury.
Also, the reverse is true.
That's
for
true.
For everyone responsible for maintaining the mercury levels in that mirror. They probably know exactly what a gallon of mercury feels like, and now they know what 1,400 lizards would feel like.
The lizard one seems safer.
That's a lot of lizards. If they all decided to eat you, they probably could.
1,000? Oh no, I don't think they can break the skin.
Do you remember the compies from Jurassic Park 2?
But they can break the skin.
That's how I see it playing out.
It's like a white fang. If you fall to the ground, you're done. But if you stay on your feet, you're good.
And just stomp, stomp, stomp.
Mm-hmm.
That's 1,400 is a like of lizards, though. There's like no you.
You can get like 5 at a time.
You have like a blanket of... You're just a mound of lizards. Like you might just not be able to breathe. That might be the problem.
I think you're overestimating the 1,000 lizards.
Maybe we can get AI to simulate what 1,400 anoles would look like on
if they were full ounce, they'd crush you with 5, because an ounce is the biggest thing. But they're not even. They're 0.1 ounces.
Oh, you went by 0.1?
No, I went by 0.2.
Oh, okay.
6 grams. The name's Grams. Teddy Grams.
I guess it's only 17 pounds.
Yeah. You could throw that to the moon. You could throw that across the Caribbean. You're overestimating lizards. I'm overestimating how far I can throw.
You're underestimating or overestimating how close the Caribbean is.
Yeah, one of those.
The Caribbean. Okay. Are we good?
Yeah. Well, do you want to hear some fast facts before we get into the biggest fact?
Sure, the big one. The big one.
They're great swimmers. Unlike many other anoles, water anoles are good at swimming. They often are found near bodies of water and streams and wetlands where they can dive and swim effectively. And they've been observed swimming underwater, using their tails for propulsion. What happens if they lose their tail? They can't swim anymore, or they can't propel. They got a Gatorade. Water anoles are typically found in Central America, particularly in places with slow-moving streams and wetlands. It sounds way worse. Wetlands sounds like a nice place to visit.
But wetlands? That's just mud.
Sounds bad.
It's just a big field of mud.
Their habitat allows them to take advantage of both terrestrial and aquatic environments, considering that they're both good on both. That's a great environment. It's almost as if they chose it. It's almost as if they live and adapt there. Like many anoles, the water anole can change its coloration to some extent, although not as dramatically as some species. Their coloration tends to be more subdued. They're brown and grayish. And if you've ever like lifted up, if you live where I live and you've ever lifted up like a leaf and found a lizard under there, it's going to be darker. But if it's on like a white fence post, it's going to be lighter.
Yeah.
According to, I don't know if it works the same as chameleons, where it's just their mood and everyone's lying. I still don't believe that. Why is it perfect? Why is it good? Although they're super colorful, it doesn't seem to be as much about.
Yeah. Why would they ever need to be bright orange?
In case they need to blend in with sunny delight. In case they never need to unleash the power of the sun.
It's only 5% juice.
Yeah, you got to get juicy juice, which is 100% juice for 100% kids. They're insectivores.
98% kids.
They feed on small insects, spiders, and other arthropods. And occasionally they'll eat aquatic insects that are present in their where the other half lives, in the water, the other half of their lives. Even though they're known for their swimming, water anoles are also skilled climbers. They're often seen climbing rocks, branches, vegetation, and other stuff where they can get up on in their habitats. And they can escape some. It's just like the capybara. They're essentially capybaras. They can go wherever the predators aren't. Unfortunately, there are predators everywhere.
Didn't you meet a capybara?
I did meet a capybara. Not 48 hours ago. Monday.
Was it everything you hoped it would be?
It was everything I expected it would be. Their hair is coarse and rough. It gets everywhere. They love snacks. They love vegetation.
Oh no. We've done this animal.
We have?
Yes.
We don't know what we've done.
Shoot, man.
Only in season 14. Is the major fact different at all?
No, of course it's not. Well, at least you have an episode for this week. Oh, we're waste. Waste of time. Why didn't I check?
We could redo it.
Why? We don't want to redo it.
No, I mean, like, what do you mean? We've done this before.
Yeah.
Didn't we do the koala twice?
You know how angry Z is going to be if we do the water anole twice and not the clownfish? I just typed in water anole air bubble and our artwork came up in the image search. I was like, oh no.
That looks familiar.
Look at it. It's right there.
I don't know. I think this is good content.
This is good content?
Yeah.
Or this episode?
Oh
my goodness.
I might just do this and release it anyway. Even if it's just a second one for the week. Control F. Just Control F on the master list.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't remember it. I didn't remember doing it. I was like, oh, I saw it on a.
Hey, neither did I. I saw Water Anole. I'm like, hey, what a novel idea that is. Let's do that.
Well, the water anoles can just make an air bubble. It goes on their face and just breathe underwater. There's your episode.
There we go. For you out there in podcast, yeah.
And I had such good nicknames.
Control F.
It's good nicknames this time.
I'm definitely uploading it, but it might just be a second one in the feed, like a bonus.
Should we continue as though I did not just realize that?
Squamata in the water. Are you still recording?
Yes.
I say just let it ride. Keep going. This is a little peek behind the curtain of how
I just had all of the wind knocked out of my sails.
All of the people that binge this, which some of the comments were saying that they were binging this year, they're going to be like, how could you forget? It was 132. How do you forget that?
But what are we on?
Last week,
300 something at this point?
Yeah, true.
Like, there's no way someone could binge that much, and get like it would take them so long. Or if I guess if we're on episode 361.
If you listen to an episode a night, you could get through them all.
So it's 206. It would take you a year if you had to listen to an episode a night. Or not a year. It would take you 260 days.
What if you have a 30-minute? You could do 2 a day if you have a 30-minute.
Yeah, I guess you could just burn right through this. Goodness gracious. Right. There was that period where like all of our episodes were 45 minutes. So let's hope that slows them down a little bit and they forget about episode 132 by the time they get here. Oh, okay. Well, all right. Talk about this totally original animal. Water anoles can breathe underwater using a clever trick involving a thin layer of air that they put around their heads. They create like a rebreather effect that traps a bubble of air around their snouts while they're submerged. This air bubble allows them to extract oxygen and release carbon dioxide, so they can like breathe through it. More or less, there's diminishing returns, so they can't do it forever. But the oxygen from the water goes into the bubble and the carbon dioxide leaves the bubble. So it's not just, they don't just breathe out a bunch of carbon dioxide and then just go down and breathe it, because that's not possible. Like if we could just blow a bubble, you can't just like, blow into a balloon and then use that as your scuba diving tank. But it's the properties of this bubble allow it to have gaseous exchange, which allows this to go for a while. The lizard skin, like you said, is hydrophobic, meaning it repels water, to the point where like it's like magnets to two of the same poles, like they just won't touch. And so the water does not collapse into the bubble. And this allows them to stay underwater for up to 16 minutes, which is that is long. That's a long time. And allows it to stay underwater for, like, it escapes, and then the bird or snake or frog, I guess a frog is going to go underwater after you, but the bird or something is going to sit there and wait for you to come back up. But the bird's going to sit around for 16 minutes. It'll get bored and leave, and then you can come back. And this is similar to diving bell spiders, how they use air bubbles to breathe, and star-nosed moles that kind of use the bubble technique to smell underwater. They'll like breathe the bubble out and then suck the bubble in and be like, that smelled like a worm. I want it. This is a worm-smelling bubble, and so I'm going this way. And yeah, check out those episodes as well. So yeah, it's a scuba diving little lizard. That's why I call it Anole diver. Also Jacques Cousteau, because he's the father of scuba diving.
Do you want to know what your title, the nickname was before?
Squamata in the water.
In the water. That's
Squamata in the water.
That's pretty good.
Do you have anything else?
That's all I got. What more can be said?
Yeah, I think we've covered this animal pretty thoroughly. So for you out there in Podcastia, take a dip. Remember to bring some extra air and plumb the depths like few reptiles ever could, like the water Anole here in Life, Death, and Taxonomy.
Hey Taxonomy Titans, I just want to remind you that we now have a Patreon. Patrons can see full video episodes and get shoutouts on the show. But ultimately, it's a way for you to help us cover some costs and get even better. Still, reviews are the best way to help us grow. So if you haven't left one yet, we'd really love to hear from you. As always, thanks for listening and engaging.
Life, Death, and Taxonomy is my favorite in the world podcast.
I'm so disappointed in myself.